Kenyatta in Los Angeles. Hey, Kenyatta, what's on your mind today?
The ugly American that you talked about earlier.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I've always been, I'm probably anal about manners, to be perfectly honest. My background, the way I was raised, that's just something very important to me. And so I say that because the caveat is maybe I'm hypersensitive to this stuff. But I got to tell you, I am definitely seeing an increase of rudeness. And, rudeness became fashionable in the U.S. Some time ago. I can't tell you exactly when, but for instance, you may recall that the U.S. soldiers in Afghanistan some years ago urinating on dead Afghan soldiers or Taliban members. And the venue where I live, we see young men, I guess it's called sagging, their underwear hanging out. Mm-hmm. We've had a rash of freeway shootings here in Southern California. And I think that one of the things that has exacerbated this, Tom, was the lockdown. When you take a society of mostly illiterate people and lock them up for a year and then loose them all at one time, you're bound to have problems. And I've said to my children, be very careful about going out right now. Let the dust settle a little bit because everybody's anxious. And Donald Trump, definitely this stuff trickled down from him. Ironically, I had to get a side window replaced on my vehicle, Tom, about 2 weeks ago. And when I got to the shop, there was a Mercedes there that had a Donald Trump, like a figure of him, like a cartoon figure on the back windshield. And every one of these windows had been busted out by a brick. Side windows, front window,
Ouch.
Back window, and even though, hey, look, I'm no fan of Agent Orange, as you know, still when we get to the point in the country where people are taking things out at this level on inanimate objects, I think we're in trouble.
Yeah,
but I'm definitely seeing a lot of that.
Well, and you're prescient here, Kenyatta. In the next hour, we're going to be talking to Spencer Ackerman, and I don't want to put words in his mouth. I haven't spoken to him about his book, Reign of Terror, but I believe that the main storyline is exactly what you just identified, that 9/11 was a turning point for America because George W. Bush's response to 9/11 was to identify a them for us. We had a new them.
Exactly.
It had been a long time since we had a them. It used to be the communists. But now we had a new them, and it was Muslims. And it was okay to trash Muslims. It was all okay to trash talk them. It was okay to set their mosques on fire. And it was certainly okay to go to some other part of the world where most of the Muslims had brown skin and bomb the crap out of them. And
absolutely.
And, that I think that was a turning point in a whole bunch of different levels. And then we pulled back from that with the Obama presidency where, for 8 years it was like, oh, well, maybe we can live together. But we never really repudiated that. And then Trump gave license to everybody with his racism.
Of course. Listen, and think about the language he would use as a president. He'd be at a rally and all these expletives would come out of his mouth. People talk about January 6th. That insurrection was all about rudeness. It was rudeness on steroids. And right before, and I don't know if you heard it, but his son, I forget which one of them, he was using the foulest language before those people marched to the Capitol.
Yeah, that was Donnie Jr.
You can imagine.
Yeah. And that's, and then there's this whole element of American, mostly white American society that celebrates that, Yeah, he tells it like it is. No, he doesn't. He's an ass. Well, now I'm doing it. See, there you go. It's contagious. Kenyatta, good talking to you.
I'll see you later.
Yeah, thanks so much for the call. We'll be back. It's coming up on 48 minutes past the hour.
You're listening to Thom Hartmann. Visit ThomHartmann.com for audio and video archives.
I can't believe I just offered a great example of my own thing that you should never do. It's like, I can't believe it. We'll be back with your calls right after this.